Hi, everybody. Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching. And the status of the workplace, the status of workplace coaching is changing quickly. When I look at everything that's happened since the pandemic, and I would even say before, there's a lot of change coming our way just in the workplace, more or less using coaching as well. Number one, let's go back to the pandemic. I'll use myself as a reference point. For years, I would be getting on planes, going out to client sites, and I'm going to be a little bold here. And I would do like a 2 to 3 day workshop after people take our online course. And I knew we weren't practicing enough. I knew there wasn't the cadence of application. I would still get great reviews, but I kept thinking to myself, yeah, but we're not solving the problem. And the challenge is leaders need to be able to coach. So then all of a sudden the pandemic occurs. All of a sudden the virtual world, this thing called Zoom, becomes more prevalent. So what it teaches us is that we actually can coach, we can have practice, we can have application of coaching, we can do these virtual group sessions, and we can have a greater cadence of interaction without doing these all-day workshops. So what's happened is it also created, especially with breakout rooms, a secure, private, safe place for people to practice. So the status of the workplace today. Number one, we now have artificial intelligence coming in. Number two, coaching has migrated from it be nice to do to we've got to do this. Number three, we've also got organizations adopting leadership coaching. And why is that? The studies are very prevalent. The Gallup organization reports that, when we engage with people's strengths, they engage 8 times more than when we lead with constructive feedback. When you look at McKinsey put in Q4 2022, over 41% of people were actively looking to jobs due to a lack of career and coaching conversation. All of these things lead back to one thing: leaders' ability to coach. Now, for years, we've heard the number one objection is, geez, it'd be nice to do if I had time. That's kind of changing a little bit because people are now being asked to coach. It's like learning a different language. So with that being said, the real reason that people don't coach or they don't do it as well is they don't know what to do and they don't know what to say. Now, all of a sudden, this thing, artificial intelligence, comes into play, and people might, such as leaders, go, geez, I can use AI instead. This will save me time. There's a couple fundamental things that we have to be very careful of. So let me give you my key strategies for the future of workplace coaching. Number one, don't even double down, triple down on leaders' ability to coach. It's been estimated that on average, 4 to 7 times a day, leaders still will have a knock on their door, virtually or in person. Boss, do you have a second? And it's about 20 minutes. If leaders schedule time with their employees, they wouldn't have to have those interruptions and they'd be more prepared for the conversation. Number two, artificial intelligence is here. I am not against that. Yet there is not anybody in their right mind go into an end of the year review and say, Bob, you're all satisfactory. You're not getting a raise because I read the reports from the artificial intelligence tool. That will be very dangerous. That will lead to an employee revolt. Number three, let's not forget automation. Think about a place that you go to. You send your people, and let's say it's 21 days of positive video clips and quotes. Wouldn't those people act and work differently if their minds were fueled more positively? And why is that even important? Gallup reports 71% of people are neutral or actively disengaged. Only 29% are positively engaged. The numbers are against our leaders. We have to create strategies using AI, using things like automation to deliver content along with questions that facilitate the experience of coaching. Now, we've talked about leaders tripling down in coaching, artificial intelligence, coaching automation. Let me give you a fourth. Build a coaching community. Don't just rely on technology and leaders' ability to coach. Let me explain. Peers need to coach each other, especially in agile environments. People also need to be able to have conversations with their teammates safely and profoundly and professionally and plausibly. Not always easy to do. We also need to position people to coach that may not have the title of leader or manager. That really accelerates not only succession planning, yet it also really builds the ability for the organization to strengthen in terms of talent development and retention. Let me give you my fifth suggestion. Build approachable, coachable employees. For the last 5 years, I am convinced of two major things. Number one, we all lack self-awareness. Number two, employees enter the workforce with 8 to 10 years of a lack of personal development to be coached in approach. Let me give you an example. When was the last time you took a semester, year-long course on feedback? 99.9% of us have not. So when our boss gives us feedback, what do? We come up with reasons why they're wrong. What's our proverbial phrase we always use? Give me an example. And then we rebuttal the example. We need to teach people there's a value in being coached. We need to teach people how to seek and accept feedback. Not always agree with it, but to seek it and accept it. See, here's the funny thing. I just had this conversation with somebody, and she said, well, why would I do that? I said, why would anyone ever want to give you feedback again? And she looked at me stunned. I said, if you always rebuttal or if you always push back, why would anyone want to give you feedback? And she goes, well, maybe they don't. I go, great. Then don't ever complain about being passed over for a promotion. And she goes, well, wait a minute. I said, oh, you want a promotion? You just don't want feedback that might get you there. And she kind of, you could see the door crack open a little bit. She goes, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. We need to develop approachable, coachable people. So part of your coaching community, we have to teach people how to seek feedback, how to accept it, how to look for it, how to provide it, how to have conversations of conflict that are difficult, thoughtfully, professionally, empathetically. Those 5 initiatives will help you create a great workplace.